Hey, it's me, Maggie J. Today with a recap and review of the 5th episode of Reservation Dogs Season 2. This one is called Wide Net because the aunties are out trying to get all snagged up. Here we get to see some familiar characters in unfamiliar situations where they get the chance to have a lot of fun. There's only a few scenes that are important to the overall plot line, but it was so much fun to watch this episode. It's still cracking me up after several times of watching, and it was a nice palate cleanser after a couple of heavy episodes involving Bear and Elora. First, we are treated to a flashback scene where tiny little Cookie dragged her boombox and best mixtape into someone's driveway, and she, Rita, Bev, Teeny, and Natalie try to make a dance routine to Brandy's Sittin' Up in My Room song. They are so cute and adorable. We were all these girls at some point, or we wanted to be but didn't have enough friends or enough rhythm, right? Maybe just me then. So, the deal in this episode is there's an IHS conference going on, a bit of a ways away from the res, and since a conference is the equivalent of a vacation weekend in Mexico, according to Auntie Bev, they can't miss out on this. And by they, I mean Bev, Rita, Teeny, and Natalie, who we've not met before. No, wait, I'm a liar. Natalie is the eye clinic lady who gave Cheese his eye exam where we found out he's about blind. I'm glad we get to know a little bit more about her. She's got such thick, gorgeous hair. I love it. Anyway, Rita goes through all the standard steps of going away to a very serious work conference. She packed her work clothes, told Bear not to call 911 in an emergency, call Leon instead, and then makes herself at home in her hotel room. It's not all complimentary lotion and gauzy curtains, though. There are some very important and sexy presenters here, and these aunties are on the prowl. They all encourage Dr. Kang to get out there and do some snagging himself. For those of us who don't know, snagging is casual sex with someone you know you're going to see again. That's what makes it awkward. Bev appears to be way ahead in collecting name tags from the host tribe members, but this isn't a competition. There's no prizes in this game, except the memories you take home with you to keep you warm later on. No, that's not a line from the show. I made that one all up on my own. Thank you. Aside from the presenters, there's dozens of vendors at the conference, and this woman is selling an entirely different brand of medicine that includes crystal dildos and flower rejuvenating steam sachets. But I think she and Auntie B went to the same beading institute. Who doesn't want to own some lady flower medallions? I bet Terry Thomas does. That's a Rutherford Falls joke, which isn't just another plug to watch my season 1 recap of that show. This Sam character here reminds me a lot of Terry Thomas, but like younger and not married to Auntie B. There's this scene where the aunties walk through this whole crowd of men, and at some point this guy steps into their way to introduce himself. Teeny tells them to look away. Seminoles can impregnate you with a single stare. And this line has made me laugh until my ribs hurt. I kind of live in Seminole territory, so it's a little extra funny to me. The aunties are not the only ones here from their reservation. The smoke shop guys are here, and apparently they're both exes of Natalie's, and she's fine with them getting the hell out of there right now, after Teeny buys some edibles. Then the ladies are poolside, hanging out with Sam, grilling him about where he's from, what he's reading, what's his dad's name, you know, the huge. He and Rita hit it off, and they wind up in an elevator alone. He kind of invites her to have pizza with him in New York City, but it's one of those, like one day, after her son has moved out and she happens to be in the city for some reason or another. It's not a real invitation, but he's left the door open for her. Nice. In one of their hotel rooms, the aunties decide to put some of their free swag to good use and pour one of those rejuvenation sachets into some boiling water, and then they steam their downstairs to be sure they're ready for anything, I guess. The woman power I felt during this scene was incredible. Being able to do anything together and encourage each other to get after whatever it is they want more of, those connections are priceless, and I wish that they were more abundant. Now it's time to have some fun. Everyone is dressed for the club, and there they go. Damn aunties. They start off with some drinks and some edibles, and pretty soon they're feeling well under the influence. Then that Brandy song comes on, and they've all got to dance. Suddenly, they're all wearing matching sparkly turquoise outfits, absolutely nailing that dance routine Cookie taught them back when they were kids. It's sexy, it's flashy, it's awesome to watch these aunties having the time of their life together with their closest friends. And it's a fantasy sequence. These chicks are way too blazed to pull off a choreographed routine they learned 20-some years ago. Reality takes nothing away from the experience these women are having, though. This is still the best night they've had in many moons. While they're all sitting down, they inevitably start discussing their lives. How fast they went from girls to women. How quickly the years have passed since then. How tough juggling family and work and community has been. Really empathizing with each other's complaints. Until Teeny throws her 2 cents in that those reasons are why they need these nights out, to escape all that. Rita doesn't seem to think Teeny has much to escape from, since she already escaped from the res, and says as much. Teeny attempts to defend herself, saying it's hard to be away from everyone, but the rest of them don't really agree, and she winds up leaving in a huff. The 3 remaining aunties don't let this argument get in the way of them collecting name tags, so they head back into the club to dance and cast their net. Rita sees Sam sitting at the bar and makes her way over, but some other chick beat her to him, so Rita heads to the bathroom, totally missing the part where Sam takes that chick's arm off of his shoulder and looks like he sends her away. Ooh. In the bathroom, Rita discovers she started her period. Yay! And she has no supplies. She complains out loud and hears Teeny's voice coming from the stall beside her. She asks for a tampon and Teeny hooks her up. They commiserate over their similar positions in life, being older women, feeling less than desirable, and they admit they're a bit jealous of each other's position. Teeny for seeming to be responsibility-free, and Rita for having a good kid and a steady, reliable job where they grow up. These 2 wind up in bed together, watching Forensic Files, eating all the good snacks, and clearing out the minibar's tiny bottles, until Rita asks Teeny to hold her hair. Aww. Everyone else found someone to share a bed with as well. Everyone except Sam, that is. He eventually left the bar alone, looking like a man disappointed he'd been stood up. Natalie took both her exes back to her room. Bev was looking aggressive when she took the Seminole guy with her. Even Dr. Kane got some action. He manages to escape with a conference name tag and his underwear and a plethora of hickeys from his neck to his navel. He may never be the same after this one. Oh, what fun they've had down at the IHS conference. I bet attendance will be up at the next gathering. Overall, I give this 3 stars. Another solid episode that shows us another side of life on the res. There were tons of jokes. This is the funniest episode of the season so far, and I'm glad I got to know a little bit more about each of these women. As much fun as I had watching, not a whole lot happened, except that conversation between Teeny and Rita. I don't think it will make Teeny move back or Rita treat herself to a vacation, but at least they understand each other a bit better and maybe remember to be grateful for all their gifts, even when they feel a bit worn out by their own circumstances. I almost forgot to mention that Bear had a party while his mother was away. We only saw him for a moment, but there he was with a bunch of kids we don't know, plus Cheese. No Willie Jack or Alora or any of the Indian Mafia, but it didn't look like they were blatantly drinking or doing drugs. It just looked a little bit smoky in there, and they might have been gambling? I guess we'll have to wait until next week, or maybe tomorrow to find out what happened, depending on what day I'm able to get this video posted. I'm not so much of a fan of these one-off kind of episodes, so I'm looking forward to finding out what the dogs are up to and advancing that storyline. But you let me know, what was your favorite part of this episode, and why was it the Crystal Dildo Woman? Don't forget to like or subscribe. You can only choose one, and y'all stay safe out there.